Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to take a look at young people who are getting into crazy amount of debt. Let's get into it.
I was never taught financial responsibility, and at 25 I accumulated $12,000 in credit card debt, and now at 27 I'm completely credit card debt free and my credit score went up 200 points. So here's everything I've learned along the way that wasn't taught to me as a child, and I had to learn when I put myself in this hole. So number one, credit cards are a resource. You should not be using a credit card unless you have that money in your account to pay it off every single month. I understand that there's situations like emergencies, whatnot, but I got into the trap of thinking that my credit card limit was money that I would have. I thought that I could spend $3,000 and I would just be able to pay it off no problem. Once you start racking up those numbers, you're only paying off the minimum and you're accruing interest. You are going to put yourself deeper and deeper into that hole.
$12,000 in credit card debt at the age of 25 is a really high amount. But honestly, a lot of people are there. The system basically sets you up to think that your credit card limit is free money, and nobody teaches you otherwise. You know, credit card can be useful if you pay them off monthly, but once the interest starts stacking, that's when you are just really paying for yesterday's fun.
Now, with that being said, one of the things that I tried to do in the beginning of paying this off was work on savings at the same time I was paying off my debt. I don't recommend you do that. Now I've learned to pay off your debt because it's not a flex to have thousands of dollars in a savings account when you have thousands of dollars in debt. So what I've done now that I am completely debt free is that I have switched all of my savings account to high yield savings accounts where I accrue, I think it's 4.6% APY, so I'm accruing interest every single month for my balance in there. Now I have multiple different savings accounts. I have my 401 and my Roth IRA through work, so that's already taken care of somewhere else. Then I have my standard checking account, which is where my deposits come in, where I'm paid. I have a separate checking account, which is for my auto expenses. These are student loans. This is rent. This is utilities. I separate out that money right away every single time I get paid. Then I have 3 savings accounts. One of them is an emergency for, God forbid, any emergencies, job loss, whatever, 4 to 6 months worth of expenses. I have a car fund because I want to buy a car outright. I don't want a car payment. And then I have vacation sinking funds, shopping sinking funds. So doing all of this, the emergency fund is your safety net. The car fund and the other sinking funds are basically already putting money aside every single week. So when I want to go on that expensive vacation, when I want that expensive treat, whether it's a bag, clothes, I already have the money there for it. I'm not pulling out my money from my paychecks because I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I want my money to earn me travel points. I want my money to earn me more money. You have to be smart with your money to make it in this world, and that was something I was never taught. So I hope that this helps someone else, and I hope that it reminds you to never accrue credit card debt because it is one of the dumbest things that you can do in your life.
So the big takeaway is that credit card debt is one of the fastest ways to ruin your financial future. Banks want you to stuck with paying the interest forever, and the only way out is through discipline and sacrifice, saying no to trips, shopping, or even small luxury. And the earlier you learn it, the less painful it's going to be.
Here is a very realistic and very embarrassing how much debt I have as a 25-year-old. So I'm not really sure if I want to start with the highest or the lowest, but I guess I will start with the lowest and then work my way up to the highest one. So I never really knew how many credit cards you are supposed to have or how many are the normal amount you're supposed to have, but I was doing anything to get by in college, so therefore 7 credit cards was what was helping me at the time.
Yeah, 7 credit card is quite a lot. Personally, I only have 1. I just feel that it's just more manageable that way. I can't imagine have 7 because that just 7 location that you have to take a look at, and once you miss one, you're probably going to miss the other, and then that's when the interest start to stack up, and it's going to be really hard to manage those and pay them off, right? So I'll just probably going to stick with 1 for now.
So my first one is TJ Maxx credit card, which is at a total of 0. My Sam's Club credit card, which is also at a total of 0. My Capital One card that I used recently is card number 3, and it is at $261.10. Then, moving on, I have an American Airlines card, which is also at $8.99. Then, Apple, my very, very most used card, is at $658.53. And then I have my Kay's Jewelers card, which I financed my wedding ring, or me and my husband did, and it is at a total of $0. Then I have a Chase Amazon card, which is also at a total of $0. So the moment we've all been waiting for, the highest one and the one that takes up the majority of the debt, is basically my student loans, and it is at $22,658.15.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. The large amount of debt for young people nowadays really comes from their student loan. Unless you have a really rich parent, most people who graduate high school don't have a lot of money to their name.
I have no words for this one. So that brings the grand total to $23,586.77. Now, if you ask me, that is actually a lot of money. Who has $25,000? Obviously not me. And it's actually really embarrassing to tell people how much debt I am in, because I feel like that's a really, really high amount. To be fair, I was in a lot more debt in 2023. I had about $13,000 to $15,000 of credit card debt. So if you were to add $13,000 to $15,000 on top of the actual total right now, that would be even more, and I'd probably be even more sad, which I actually was pretty sad and stressed when I had that much debt. Thankfully, in 2023, we got our life together and we paid off a lot of these credit cards. I would say all of them were actually paid down all the way to $0 at some point, and within the span of 6 months. However, now just 2 of them have really high balances. And you know what? I don't know what to do about student loans, because that's a really, really crazy amount. But, you know, we will keep on chugging, and that is how much debt I am in as a 25-year-old.
Yeah, shout out to her for trying to at least tackle these issues, and I really wish her the best. Hopefully she can pay that off as soon as possible, and hopefully getting back to living a normal life as a 25 years old, rather than have to worry about this really large amount of debt. So at the age of 22, seems like she have accumulated over $27,000, and I believe all of this of credit card. Yeah, I'm not really good at credit card. Like I mentioned earlier, I only have one, and I just find it more easier to manage like that. Having too many like this is going to be difficult, at least for me, as you can see. But yeah, this is a lot of money. She got $10,000 on one, the other one is $15,000, and the last one is $2,500. And yeah, I wonder what she's spending those money on, but this is a lot of money just to be owed to a credit card.
I don't know what the fuck I did to make the universe hate me. Crashed my car, $3,000, boom. Phone overheated and the battery broke, boom, $400. Laptop, I was watching my show, all of a sudden and the screen goes half black and fucking glitchy, boom, $600 fucking dollars. All within a fucking month. What the fuck did I do? I'm confused.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. Things nowadays can be very, very expensive, and this is probably one of another reason people get into debt as well. Just a simple things around your house breaks. It can take hundred, even thousands of dollars just try to fix it or trying to get a new one. And how can people try and afford that? I guess the only way is probably through credit card if they don't have any emergency funds saved up. And yeah, I really feel bad for her. Hopefully at least it's only $4,000, which is still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but compared to a couple of clips earlier that we see, this one seemed to be a little bit more manageable. So hopefully she can pay that off as soon as possible.
Today is one of those days.
I am a lot in debt. And I don't make enough money for me to be in this much debt.
Damn, I really feel bad for her. 76,000 is a lot of money, especially if that money is not yours. It is being owed to somebody else. And yes, she have all the right to be worried about her future because she's only 26 and this is a really large amount that she's trying to pay off. And you know, if she just continue to only paying that minimum monthly payment, the interest is going to continue to grow on that money, and that $76,000 can definitely turn into a, you know, six-figure $100,000 just within like a year or so from now, depending on her, you know, interest rate that she's owing the money on. And I just feel really bad. I really wish her the best. Hopefully she can try and figure out something soon. Maybe try to talk to her families or anybody that could try and help her out with that. And maybe try and budgeting as well. Maybe try and see if there's anything else that she pay monthly that can be cut out, and maybe use that amount of money to pay toward her debt instead. And you know, I really wish her the best, because the next couple of years is going to be rough if she doesn't pay that off as soon as possible.
I'm in $71,000 worth of debt right now, so let's see how we got there. So let's start with credit cards. I have 4 credit cards, but only 3 of them are in use. To begin, I have Discover number 1, which is $8,159, which is actually a Discover loan, like personal loan that I took out to pay off my actual credit cards, because the interest rate for the personal loan was cheaper than the interest rates on each card. So it's saving me money in the long run, paying it off. But for about a year, I wasn't working and was kind of depressed, so it got racked up a little bit. So $8,159 is a personal loan that I pay off every month, and the interest rate for that is 11.9%. Again, is a lot cheaper than credit card interest rates, which are usually like 20-something%.
Yeah, she might wanna have to pay that off as soon as possible, because 11.99% is definitely not low. It could be low compared to others, but you know, it's definitely still high compared to, for example, a mortgage rate. That's definitely double, almost double the mortgage rate nowadays, which is about, you know, 6 to 7%. And if you only pay the minimum on that $8,000 every single month, you know, that $8,000 can definitely turn into $20,000 really quick, which is crazy.
Next, I have my Amex card. These next 3 cards are like my everyday cards, and right now they do have balances, but it's my like everyday kind of like spending, so I will pay these off at the end of the month like normal. But this one has $305 on it. My MasterCard has $370, and then my actual Discover card has $13 on it. So those will get paid off at the end of the month like normal, so I don't really consider that debt, even though it technically is. Next is the big kahuna. It's the student loans. I regret going to college, but I regret how expensive it was and living on campus, okay? So this is broken up into 2 sections. So I have like my personal student loans, like government student loans, and then I have the Parent Plus loan that is in my dad's name, but I pay it because it was for my schooling. I'm not gonna make him pay that. Mine in my name is $45,924 with interest rates between 2.75 and 4.6. So my student loans are broken up by like different loans for each semester. So there's like a gajillion different small loans, and they all have different interest rates. But right now I'm on the income driven plan, and I make so little money that I have a $0 a month payment on it. So I don't have to pay it every month, but it's still gaining interest, so it still sucks. And then the Parent Plus loan that's in my dad's name that I do have to pay every month because he does not qualify for an income driven repayment plan. The total is $16,305 with an interest rate of 7.21. So that one I pay $211.37 a month to pay that one off. So it's gonna take a while, but that's all my debt. That's how I got there.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you and I both learned something today, and just try and avoid credit card or any type of debt as much as possible. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.